Hi listeners, thank you for being here. Today we have a really special guest. It's Judith Staley. So Judith Staley is the founder of Sewover50. Hi Judith, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. It's a sunny morning here in Edinburgh and I'm feeling good, thank you.
And it's really lovely that you're here. Thank you so much for your time.
That's okay. We've got a lot of time, haven't we?
Oh, I know.
At the moment.
And you're staying safe and well?
Yes, I am. Yeah, staying in. Daily walk and I've been fine. Got used to it, in a rhythm now. What about you?
It's the same. It took a while at the start, quite unnerved. Yeah, you're right. Having some sort of a routine has really helped. So to pick up the sojo of our listeners, what would you like to talk about today?
I thought we could talk about the challenges that we've ran, and particularly the headband challenge that we ran recently. It was, as many of the things are, an idea of Sandy's, because Sandy has loads of ideas. She does. She says, you're going to be scared, I've got another idea. She came up with this idea, which obviously was a great idea, and it really took off. It seemed to hit the zeitgeist, if that's what you call it. So the idea was everybody's struggling a little with not being able to get to the hairdressers. The hair's growing.
Yes.
Colours are growing out. So the idea was to sew something to just cover up and for a bit of fun, because we like to bring fun onto the account, because sewing is fun and it has some, we have serious parts on the account, but a lot of the people in the community seem to have a good sense of humour and join in things like this.
They do. And sewing it's something that they choose to do, not something that they have to do. So, bringing a bit of fun into the account is quite easy, I suppose, or it would be expected. Yeah.
So we decided to run it just for a short time, a quick challenge over a weekend, no prizes, just for the fun of it. And yes, again, Sandy came up with the topic, 4 different topics that we would just highlight the ones that we thought express that topic the best. And I probably can't remember them all now. Yeah, so I think we started it on a Friday. It's always extended because Friday starts a lot earlier, obviously, in New Zealand and Australia than it does in America. So it was spread over the weekend, Friday to Sunday. And everybody jumped on board with it. It was great.
While it was just a short one, it actually was a bit of a wake-up call for myself with the headband challenge.
Oh, yeah. In what way?
At that time of this pandemic period, I was really unsettled, didn't want to have anything to do with it. I can't even articulate it now how I was feeling. Yeah. So really unsettled. Yeah. But as soon as I saw that headband challenge, it kind of woke me up a bit.
Okay.
And it got me to be creative. And it was really simple, but it was, Sandy had the right idea.
Yeah, it was great. And it's right, I hadn't really thought about that, how most of the people in the community have been a similar time frame, although obviously Italy and Spain and China have started a lot earlier, but we've most of the community been in a similar time frame. So we were probably all at the same stage. And with me, I did not feel like sewing at the beginning. I couldn't settle to do anything. And I did something small initially. I may have made a mask, I can't remember. And I began to get into it, but it was about that time when Sandy suggested this challenge. And now you mention it, after that, it all seemed to come to light. A lot more people seemed to start sewing and feeling happy about sewing, because I think part of it was they felt it was a bit indulgent or something when we know people are on the front line going to work, into hospitals, into all sorts of places where they're on the front line, and all we can do if we're not doing that, if we're not working, is stay at home. So you felt a bit helpless. Yep. And that it sort of gave us permission, I think, to sew and just use the time you've got at home to do something.
That's right.
Creative.
Our role, if we're not on the front line helping people who are suffering at the moment, is to stay at home so that it doesn't get any worse. And it was actually quite fun. It wasn't hard to do. It was something that we could do really easily. And, it stopped me from feeling unnerved to actually trying something small, and actually felt good about it.
Yeah, it seemed to have that effect, and everybody seemed to join in with humour, with posing, not taking it seriously, because most people didn't really need to have a headband on, but it was a fun way to get back involved, I think, in the community. We had some, great Well, they were all great entries. Everything was fantastic. And we did, yes, we reposted, I think this, what happens, Sandy's idea, and I was on duty that weekend. So I was busy all weekend. And she didn't do that on purpose, honestly. So I was on duty that weekend, and I was reposting them all to stories, because it's always hard just choosing one or two when people have put such effort in. And if people don't go and look at the hashtag, they only see the ones that from the people who they are following, whereas we go and look at the hashtag and see all of them. And it was nice on this occasion to post all of them, and they are all saved in the highlights on stories. If you go to our account, our bio, and the little circles on that, there's 2 highlights, I think, because there were so many headband highlights. So they're all there, so you can go back and look at those and see the fun that was had if you didn't see that at the time.
Yep, they're there, the isolation headbands. Yeah. It was really fun to do, but if you didn't get involved, it's actually a really good one just to watch. So when challenges happen, it's actually a good one to observe as well.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. And obviously now we're into Me Made May, which isn't our challenge, obviously, but a lot of our community have got involved in that. I've been on duty this weekend and since it started, and that's a lot of going through our hashtag, and the Me Made Mays are mixed in with all the rest of them, but there's a lot of Me Made May, so there's a lot to see there. If you look at our hashtag, you'll see what everybody's doing. Me Made May, everybody's doing it slightly differently. That will keep the account very busy. Tends to tail off after the first few days, not quite so busy, but there's a lot there. I think, again, that seems to have come at the right time, doesn't it? Feel okay about sewing and getting onto Instagram and sharing again. Yeah.
And it was actually quite good that yesterday when Zoe was talking to us about Me Made May 2020, so it's the hashtag Me Made May 2020. So if you're in the Sewover50 group, you'd also have to tag what you're doing as hashtag Sewover50.
Yes, yes. So people are doing that using the Sewover50 hashtag and the Me Made May hashtag. And I think there's quite a few different variations. I know there must be one official one, which is Me Made May 2020, is it?
That's correct. So it's hashtag Me Made May 2020.
I think some people are using slightly different ones, but yes, if you use both, we see all of the MMM 2020, because if they use Sewover50 as well, then we see them all. So if people want to get involved, use both hashtags. And we've had a lot of entries. It's very, very busy.
Yes. Yeah. So the first week, as you said, are really busy. It is the timing, isn't it, for our environment at the moment?
Yeah. Yes. If this had come, if it had been 2 months different, then probably Zoe wouldn't have done it. She probably wouldn't have felt like it if this had been at the start. But it seems to have just hit right.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, and thankfully we're all still together and we're all still safe, so that's a really good thing.
Yes. Yeah. And talking about challenges, we do have another one in the pipeline again. It's Sandy's idea.
Yes.
I'm not going to say what it is. We're not actually sure when it's coming up. It's a good one, and we'll alert you to it when it's coming up.
So we'll just have to wait and see, listeners.
Yeah, we were going to repeat the flat lay challenge that we did last year, so 50 flat lay and Me Made flat lay, but we felt we couldn't have that going on at the same time as Me Made May. It would be too much. I think last year we did it earlier. I think we did it in April. With the way things were, it didn't feel right to do it at that point. And I think May would be too busy to have that going on at the same time as Me Made May.
That's a really good choice, Judith, that we're just concentrating on one thing at a time.
Yeah. I mean, obviously there are a lot of other challenges going on in the community as well at the same time, as there always are. Me Made May is the big one, the very big one, isn't it, in the whole community.
As an aside with challenges, how do you keep up with them all?
It is hard. And again, it sounds like, Sandy is a force. She's really good at keeping up with these, keeping our eye out. Some people, when they're running a challenge, they'll use our hashtag as well. So that's really good. Then it pops up under our hashtag when we're looking through it each day, every day. If somebody's included our hashtag, that's easy because we can, and we're happy to repost. It's really nice when pattern brands or fabric shops or people running challenges have cottoned on to the fact that if they use our hashtag, then lots of people will see it if they're looking at our hashtag. So it's really nice if they do. We usually put that straight into stories if somebody has used our hashtag for that. So it's a form of marketing for them. But some brands haven't gotten down to that. We have to do a bit more searching and finding out and trying to pull them all together towards the end of the month, ready for the next month, and then repeat it during the month, because people use it as a resource. Finding out from these.
It's really useful that people know to go to your stories and to go to your account if they want to just catch up, if they feel like they want to get back involved. That's really good to know.
Yeah. And I think obviously there's a lot more in stories. We only post usually 5 posts a week. We have 2 days with no posts. So there's a lot more going on in stories. And I think most people do follow stories, but not everybody does. So if you don't have a look at our stories, it's good to have a look. We post a lot more people in there, and people are always really pleased when they pop up in our stories. We get messages from people saying it's made their day, that they've seen themselves in our stories. So it's fun to do that.
It's exciting when you see yourself in a story of someone else, and especially with Sewover50, so it's wonderful.
It's nice.
Oh, Judith, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be on the daily series of So Organised Style for Sewover50.
Thank you very much for inviting me. I finally made it here, and it's been lovely to chat.
Oh, it's lovely to actually meet you, so thank you.
Thank you, Judith, for putting some time aside to chat to me today about Sewover50 challenges. You can be assured that we'll be hearing from Judith next Thursday. This episode of So Organised Style podcast daily series was produced by me, Maria Theoharis, sound by bensound.com. So Organised Style, spelt with an S, not a Z, is available on our website at soorganizedstylepodcast.com with all the links to this podcast. You can also subscribe to our podcasts on Apple iTunes, Google, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio and Castbox. Subscribe to our podcast so you can catch every episode and tell your friends about us. We look forward to joining you in your sewing room again.